MPs are calling for a crackdown on NDAs after bullying inquiry into the UK's financial sector. We're going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that MPs are calling for a crackdown on NDAs after bullying inquiry into the UK's financial sector. Recommendations to ban non-disclosure agreements come as report uncovers shocking prevalence of sexual harassment. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share across social media so you'll be notified of this video. NDAs are becoming quite an issue, shall we say, in society. It feels like to me the NDAs these days are a nice get out of jail free card for the rich and the wealthy, for them to avoid any kind of scrutiny. And I find it a little bit hypocritical of MPs to be calling for this when MPs have been known to use NDAs themselves to cover themselves. We also have known in the past of obviously certain footballers using them, certain celebrities are also using them as well. Where is the line when it comes to the use of non-disclosure agreements? I think is a question that we should be asking ourselves. Are NDAs, is there a place for them in society? Is there a use for them in society? Because I am a bit torn on people having the use of NDAs. Where is the line when it comes to personal protection and then when it comes to actually stopping justice being made and those who are of alleged crimes being perpetrated and made to the public to be known of them as well? Now obviously here they're claiming that the NDAs are linked to the point of sexual harassment here, which is obviously a very serious stuff to say that this has been happening in the financial sector. And lots of NDAs are being used to silence many people within this. Now, this is the first that I've come to knowledge about possible sexual harassment within the financial sector. We've obviously know about the many issues that have taken place within sexual harassment, plus worse, by MPs within the Houses of Parliament. So I do actually welcome a crackdown on NDAs because it allows them to get away with it. So there needs to be obviously something changed in this regard. But how you go about that, I'm not sure. So let's read into it as we maybe more my thoughts will come together as we discuss this. So MPs are calling for new laws that would ban city firms from using gagging orders to silence victims after parliamentary inquiry found shocking prevalence of sexual harassment and bullying against women in the UK's financial sector. It is one of the key recommendations to come out of Tuesday's committee Sexism in the City inquiry, which raised concerns about the lack of progress in promoting and protecting women in one of the UK's most ludicrous industries. MPs who heard the hearings with city executive, financial regulators, ministers and women from across the sector over 8 months said it was shocking to hear how prevalent sexual harassment and bullying, up to and including serious sexual assault and rape, are still in financial services and how poorly firms handle allegations of such behaviour. They were also critical of widespread misuse of non-disclosure agreements (NDAs), saying that they had the effects of silencing the victims of harassment and forcing them out of an organisation while protecting perpetrators and leaving them free to continue their careers to go on and abuse others. This is why one of the biggest issues that I have with NDAs, and I do question whether or not they have a place in society when it allows people to use them for these reasons. It's the influential cross-party committee is calling on the government to ban NDAs in harassment cases as well as strengthening protections for whistleblowers. Meanwhile, firms need to embed a zero-tolerance approach to misconduct across the UK financial and professional service industry, which employs about 2.5 million people and accounts for approximately £278 billion or 12% of the country's economic output. The chair of the Treasury committee Halliwell Baldwin said this well-paid sector will only be able to maintain its competitive advantage if it's able to draw on the widest possible pool of talent, and that's why it's so frustrating to tackle that efforts to tackle sexism in the city are moving at a snail's pace. How are you supposed? What you know? There is always this perception that you have of people with money and power. You know, the typical white man who doesn't want, who just don't look at women as equals or see them as nothing more than objects. And it's just, it's 2024 and we're still having these conversations. I know we've had these conversations about it within the police force. We've had these conversations about it with MPs, and we're having this conversation within the financial sector. And I suppose people will probably be saying to me, well, Regan, are you really that surprised that this is happening in the financial sector, a place where they have literally money everywhere? No, I should not be surprised of this. But the fact that but it pisses me off, guys. It really does. And I try to refrain from using foul language on this channel, but once again, where is the justice here? I just feel like there's no justice, and I feel like there's a time bomb here ready to explode in the financial sector, because if there are NDAs being used, how many are being used? How many are being silenced? How many are being quiet about it? Because that's a question now. Like, are we under the cover of a massive time bomb here because there are so many of them taking place in the financial sector that we don't know about because of these NDAs? That's a question that's really I'm asking myself here, because I generally feel that there is one. The more I read into this, the more I feel like that there is something horrible here for all that the financial sector does in terms of bringing us from economic point of view. I feel like this could lead to something much darker, and I'm not looking forward to talking about this again, but I feel like this is not going to be the last time we'll be talking about this. MPs who launched the inquiry after sexual harassment allegations against the hedge fund boss Crispin Oldie at the British Confederation of British Industry stressed that men need to take more active role in challenging and reporting bad behaviour by other men in the firm. Yes, that's something that there's a lot of men who are probably that's something that I'm sure a lot of men who are scared. A lot of men that are scared, apologies about that, of speaking out, not because they don't want to protect women, but because they're more concerned about their own career as opposed to doing what is right. And I think that's a problem here, where they're looking to push their own promotion to make themselves successful, as opposed to actually standing up for women within those sectors, within certain places, because they don't want to get pushed aside or never get that promotion because they're trying to defend a woman. And I think that's playing a part into those men who are choosing not to stand up for women's rights there. The elimination of sexual harassment, including serious sexual assault and bullying, should be a minimum standard expected to be guaranteed across the sector. It is a source of deep concern to us that this has not yet been achieved. This needs to be addressed, and urgently, the report said. The committee also raised concerns about the lack of progress on equal pay and female senior leadership across the city. It said that neither of the government's flagship initiatives, Gender Pay Gap and Reporting, and the Women in Financial Charter, in which voluntarily commit to bespoke targets to raise the number of women in top roles, has brought about the change it was hoped for. The industry still has a large gender pay gap in any UK sector among the companies that are Women in Finance Charter signatories. The average proportion of senior roles is just 35% in 2022 from 27% in 2016. This is progress in the right direction, but a rate of little over a percentage point this year. It is frustratingly low, the committee said. Why are we still having this issue? Why do we have this issue between men and women of equal pay? Why are we still having this issue? Why are we still having this debate? If a woman can do the same job as a man, is doing the exact same job as a man, why should she get paid less? Why are we even having... Why is this conversation happening? Why is this still an issue? Someone please explain to me why this is still a goddamn issue. They're doing the exact same job as a man. Why should it be any different? Why should their pay be less? I don't get this perception. I really don't understand why we have this issue. There shouldn't be an issue here. It should be the case of, doesn't matter if that person is black or white, man, woman. If you're good enough at your job, if you're good enough to it, should get paid the same as any other person. Why does it have to be based on the fact that based on their sex or their colour of their skin or whatnot? Why does all these factors play into it? It should not be. It should be based on the job titlement and their work onto it and how they work and whatnot. Why does it matter if it is a woman doing that job? I don't get this premise. I don't know why this is so hard for people to understand. The report calls on the Charter signatories to forge a stronger link between executive pay and progress on improved diversity. MP says employers should also be banned from asking for salary history and should be required to list pay bands on job adverts. They're also calling for gender pay gap reporting rules to be extended to smaller firms with less than 250 staff, including private equity and hedge funds, which have some of the least diverse workforces. Additional concerns were raised about the removal of the bonus cap, which previously restricted banks to be paying more than 2 times an employee's salary. The committee warned that it could exaggerate pay inequalities, and was pushing the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, and the Bank of England to formally review in 2 years' time the ripple effects on gender pay. The FCA said it would reflect on a range of views received. The Treasury was contacted for comment. As you guys know, I'm not an expert when it comes to finances, financial experts and whatnot, and that kind of stuff. It's not really my forte. It's not really something that I go kneel deep into, guys. But I will say that why are we only making? For me, I feel like why are these discussions only been done now? That's the question I'm asking myself. Like, are we not talking enough about these issues? Like, why are we not cracking down on this? We can't crack down on it because obviously we rely on the UK financial sector to bring us money. So we're going to ignore the well-beings of women who are being silenced within that sector. Is that it? Because that's how it comes across to me. That that there are people within power who are choosing to keep it quiet simply because of the money that is made by the financial sector that benefits the UK economy. And those women who may bring about damaging the reputations of the companies that they work for could also hamper the UK economy or something along those lines. I'm sorry, there's no justification for that. It's not. Like, just treat women as blimmin' equals and we won't be having these conversations. But no, we still have people within financial sector. We have people in Parliament. We have people in society who still think that women should be treated as second-class citizens, should be treated as objects. And the reality is you need to wake the F up, because it's 2024. It is an old feeble thing. Like this premise about pay equality as well. I mean, I just, like I said earlier, there is a time bomb here, and it's going to explode. And there's going to be a lot of anger. And remember, people are not angry. People are a lot angry with the banks back in 2008 due to the financial crash as well. Do you think people are going to be happy about NDAs being used in the financial sector for women being silenced? You think people are, if that blows up, imagine turning this into a drama series. How does that make people feel about the financial sector? It would tear companies and their reputations apart working in the financial sector in the UK. So, while I welcome MPs calling for a crackdown on NDAs, I also find it hypocritical of them when they have their own glass houses to deal with. But perhaps there may be some progress here. But as of right now, I'm lacking that optimism, and I'm sure maybe some of you guys are too. But what do you guys think? What do you make of the financial sector? What do you make of NDAs? What do you guys honestly think of non-disclosure agreements? Do you think there is a case for them that they should be around? The reasons for them, please let me know in the comment section down below. But when it comes to sexual harassment and protection of women within the financial sector, what do you make of this? Let me know again in your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button, we greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media and hit that bell notification icon so be notified when I upload another video. If it doesn't work, the notification, turn it off and turn it back on. It's a YouTube issue, it's not a YouTuber issue. And if you want to financially support me in the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.